Hi, good morning. This is Paul Marsalik with part 3 of The Real Cost of Turnover. Thanks for joining me. As you may recall, in part 1, we talked about the cost of the person. If somebody is going to leave your organization, they have to apply for jobs, buy a new uniform, rearrange schedules, daycare. They have to go to interviews, take time off. Pain in the neck. People don't do that for 25 cents an hour. When you think that people leave just because they're going to get a little better benefit or a few extra dollars, that's not the case. In fact, they're firing you, and I think that's the conclusion we came to, is when they quit your organization, they're firing us, and that's the problem. Second thing that we talked about in section number 2 was managers and the cost of managers. When people leave, it's expensive, not just in money for recruiting, but the time it takes. You have to interview, you have to review resumes, you have to do peer interviewing, you have to pull it all together, you have to meet with your HR team, then you have to onboard and train and precept, and it's a lot of overhead. So it seems to me that the strength here might come in retention, and the real benefit of this series might be keeping people instead of losing them. But let's go on to talk a little bit now about the peers. There's a cost to everybody. There's a cost to the person, there's a cost to the manager, but there's the cost of the people that you work with and around. You know, when people work together, they develop a bond. They develop almost family ties. They become close. They understand each other. They know each other. They can anticipate each other's moves, and they know what each other's moods are going to be. They know what people do well and don't do well. They become acclimated to one another. When people leave, what happens is a part of the group, a part of the functioning unit, actually disappears. People that did certain things are no longer there. I'm sure many of you, and as I have as well, have heard people say, when somebody leaves, well, who's going to do X? And it's although not completely necessary that one person does a certain role, but if somebody's really good at it, done it for a long time, really likes it, and we're used to them participating at that level, it would be odd for them to leave us. So there's a cost to the peers. They not only lose a friend, they lose a partner, they lose somebody they're close with. Work, there's a void in the work. Somebody's got to fill it in, perhaps without the talent to do it or the desire to get it done. So when the team loses somebody, they lose part of the family, they lose some of the work, they have to absorb it. It could end up meaning overtime. It could mean changing schedules. It could mean that their schedules for daycare and picking up kids and getting to soccer, getting their grocery shopping done, having their life balance is upset, because now where there might have been 5 people, there are 4. And those 4 people now need to fill in the time that the 5 did previously. So there's a cost of the person, there's a cost of the manager, there's a cost of the team, the peers, the people that are going to be left behind. In the next section, we're actually going to take an interesting turn here, and we're going to talk about the cost to the brand of the hospital. Does the hospital suffer when people come and go, when people start, work for a period of time, and then leave? And I think that there is, and we'll talk about it then. Thanks for joining me. This is Paul Marsalik with Management Matters, The Real Cost of Turnover.